Okay, so in this video we're going to look at whether we use sin, cos or tan to calculate missing sides and angles when we're using a right angled triangle. Okay, so if we remember, our sine ratio is opposite over hypotenuse, our cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and our tan is opposite over adjacent. Now, if we look at these letters here, we can form a wee memory aid, which is SOHCAHTOA, right? So we say SOHCAHTOA, and that helps us to remember that sine is opposite in hypotenuse, cos is adjacent in hypotenuse, and tan is opposite and adjacent. Okay, so depending on these sides will determine, or depending on the sides we're given, that'll tell us which one of these that we're going to use to find our missing side or our missing angle. Okay, so let's look at a couple of examples. Right, so we just copy this down into your notes. Okay, this is called SOHCAHTOA examples, and we kind of refer to this type of trigonometry as SOHCAHTOA from now on. So working out missing sides and angles in right angled triangles is generally referred to in maths just now as SOHCAHTOA. Alright, so the first one here, we can see, again we've got a right angled triangle with 37 degrees here, which means this side is the opposite. So remember, this is always the first thing that we do, is to name our sides. Okay, so this is the opposite here, and then we've also got the hypotenuse. Now, if we write down SOHCAHTOA, we can already see, because we've got O and H, opposite and hypotenuse, it's going to be sine that we're going to use. Alright, so if we write down the relationship for sine, so that's sine theta is O over H, opposite over hypotenuse. Our theta, our angle is 37, so sine 37 is x over 15. And then remember, all we need to do to get our answer is we do 15 times sine 37. Remember to put your number first and then your sine or cos or tan. It just helps the calculator and you don't have to put in extra brackets and things. And our answer to that is 9.03. Remember to include our units meters. Okay, so if you look back to the video on how to calculate a side using tan, I'll lead you through these steps a little bit more slowly, obviously using tan instead of sine, but it's pretty much the same process. Okay, so there isn't a massive difference in the process that you do. The only difference is you're using different sides, which tells you to use sine as opposed to using tan. Alright, so the next one, which is looking at finding an angle. So here we can see the missing angles A, and we've got 15 and 23. Now we have to work out what sides these are. So we don't have the opposite, but we've got the adjacent, and we can see that this side is the hypotenuse. So it's always a good help to write out SOHCAHTOA. So it's a good help to write this out so that you can see it in front of you, and then you can see which one you're going to pick. Now we've got A and H, so we're going to use K or cos, right? So cos theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. So this time the angle's called A, so we're going to use that letter. So cos A is equal to, make sure you get this bit right, 15 over 23. So be careful, right? 15 is the adjacent, 23 is the hypotenuse, so be very careful when you're putting these into the formula here. Okay? So our next step, to get A, is inverse cos 15 over 23, and that's just 15 divided by 23, but I showed you that in that tutorial as well at the very end with the calculator. And the answer to that then that you should get is 49.3 degrees. Okay, so again, just copy that into your jotters, okay, into your notes jotters. Make sure you've got a full copy of all of the solutions to both of these. This is showing an example in sine and an example in cos. We've already got examples for tan in the previous videos, so we should have examples for each one of the three ratios now. Please check your own calculator that you get the values that I'm getting, okay? Because sometimes if your calculator's in the wrong mode or it's set up wrongly, then you can get wrong answers, alright? So it's really helpful if you go through with your own calculator and check that you're getting these answers. Don't just copy them down without checking them, alright? So remember, you can rewind me if you want, even look at the previous screen to get this SOHCAHTOA thing set up and make sure that you're really comfortable with that, alright? Thank you.